Scott Simpson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's a privilege and a pleasure to rise in support of the Prime Minister's statement made earlier in this House this afternoon and to oppose the amendment presented by the current Leader of the Opposition. Sir, before I commence my contribution, I just really want to pass a quick comment on the contribution of the Labor member who has just resumed his seat, because it epitomises the problem and the woolly thinking that the Labor Party have right at the moment. Praising the actions of protesters who clearly, many of whom had absolutely no idea what they were protesting against, who were just there for the day out and the loudspeakers and the parade, and then demanding from the government that we provide solutions to economic problems and challenges, but provide no alternative or plan about how wealth can be created to invest in creating those solutions so desperately needed by so many people. And that really sums up the problem that the Labor Party have in terms of their position on TPP, because it's split, it's divided, it's not unified, and it's all over the place. Sir, it's been a very good summer for the government. Economic indicators are looking good, our economy is growing, and forecasts are that over the next 5 years or so that the economy will continue to grow at about 2.7% per annum. Unemployment is down. We now have unemployment at levels not seen for the last 7 years. And we are amongst a very small elite number. I think it's only one of 3 OECD countries with lower unemployment than ourselves. ACC levies have been reduced and will be reduced further this year. Tourism numbers are up by a staggering percentage, 38% growth in the last 12 months in terms of international visitors. This is a government, sir, that is united, that is focused, that is energetic, and that is disciplined. And what's more, Mr Speaker, amongst the government caucus, we all like each other, we all get on, we all agree, it is a strange concept for some parties in this House, but we actually enjoy each other's company. And we had an opportunity today, Mr Speaker, in our caucus to hear a very fine contribution from the Honourable Tim Grosser as he made his final contribution and speech to the National Party caucus. And I really just want to acknowledge with grateful thanks as a rural provincial MP the work that Tim Grosser has done on behalf of all New Zealanders, but in many respects it's the rural and provincial areas of the country that will gain the most from the work that he has done in the years to come. Sir, on this side of the House, we support our leader, we support the Prime Minister, we support his cabinet. We're focused on the work we do, and we are determined to bring even better outcomes for New Zealanders than have been achieved over the last few years of this government's administration. We do get on with each other and we like each other's company. And contrast that, sir, with those members who sit opposite. They are ill-disciplined, they have no focus, they are low in energy, as one American political aspirant might describe them, and they are people who are divided, split, and don't have any sense of unity of either thought or purpose. And that's not the signs of a party that's ready for government in any way, shape or form, sir. There's no sign of any bold new thinking, there's no sign of any intellectual rigour, there's no sign of any planning or forethought about what might be done. The only solution they come up with is, sir, more spending of money, of hard-working taxpayers' money, and no plan at all about how to generate a greater level of wealth so that economic wealth can be spread around for the entire nation. And how is it, sir, that in that divided Labor Party opposite, that the Honourable Phil Goff can be granted a special dispensation to support TPP, while David Shearer, apparently, even though he does support TPP, is granted no such dispensation? And what about Caton Cosgrove and Stuart Nash and some of those other free-thinking, right-thinking people in the Labor Party caucus? So the TPP will benefit primary producers and manufacturers in my electorate. These are people that understand trade, they understand the necessity for us to make our way in the world, and they understand and support what this government is doing. because they know that it means more jobs, more money, better, brighter futures for us all. And they understand and know that only good things come from trading internationally, and that Labor's position is not only confused, but on this issue it's very wrong. And I concur with the comments of one of my colleagues earlier this afternoon. I think it was the Honourable Paul Goldsmith in his contribution, when he said he is actually very disappointed and saddened by the once proud Labor Party, who actually were supportive of free trade, who actually had a fine free trade principled position. And their former leader, Helen Clark, of course, who said it would be unthinkable for New Zealand not to be part of this agreement. Voters in my part of the country know that, and they now feel let down by this Labor opposition. So I just want to spend a minute or two talking about my electorate, because it's one of the most beautiful parts of the country, and it's been a very good summer. There is grass that is green in parts of my electorate where normally at this time of the year there is not green grass growing. And so the effects of El Nino have not been as harsh or as dramatic as we might have expected, or as we were concerned before Christmas. But, sir, it would be remiss of me when I'm speaking of my electorate not to note the passing of one of the Coromandel's great iconic characters. Barry Brickell, OBE, passed away a couple of weeks ago. Potter, artist, railway builder, visionary and absolute true Coromandel character. He'll be much missed in Coromandel, much missed in the region. And as I walked past some of his wonderful clay pots that have been a feature of the Beehive since it was opened and constructed all those years ago, I was moved to just touch the pot and think fondly of Barry as I walked past. I'll miss his wonderful long typewritten letters. He used to write letters to me on a manual typewriter, covering a whole range of subjects. And I learnt very quickly, sir, that it was much easier to engage him in a conversation, or preferably go and visit him, in order to engage and respond to those wonderful letters that he used to send me. And as I say, sir, our region is the poorer for his passing, but his legacy will absolutely live on. Over the recess, sir, I was able to visit most parts of the beautiful Coromandel electorate, and I've got to report, sir, that people are in good heart. We have been, in my electorate, actually been the net beneficiaries of much of what is called the Auckland property boom, because so much focus has been paid on how much houses are selling for in Auckland and who is buying them, but actually very little attention has been paid on what happens to the people who have sold their homes and where does the money go. Well, sir, I'm pleased to report that an awful lot of that money has been coming to regions like mine. So in towns like Thames and Ngāti, Paeroa, Te Aroha, Whitianga, Whangamata and Katikati, these are the towns that are reaping the rewards of the Auckland property boom, because people are selling their homes in Auckland and they're coming to live in one of the most beautiful parts of the country where they can buy property that by Auckland standards appears to be remarkable value. They get a terrific community, they get wonderful services, they get great schools, and they get, naturally, of course, a terrific quality of parliamentary representation. But I would say that, wouldn't I? And so they are coming in their droves. And what happens then, sir, is that often they're buying houses that mean that maybe they've got some surplus cash, so they're ripping out bathrooms, putting in new kitchens, and that's keeping the tradespeople happy. And then the appliance dealers and sellers are selling new fridges, new stoves, new freezers, and so the economy in the Coromandel is actually doing very well. Sir, because so many people do visit the Coromandel over the summer, I want to thank those people who have kept us safe over the summer, the police, ambulance, search and rescue, Coast Guard, fire service, and all the volunteers who have done such a terrific job when we have so many visitors. Sir, this is going to be a very busy and good year for the government. We've got a very full agenda of work ahead of us. I chair the Local Government and Environment Select Committee, sir, and on our agenda alone we've got a very big piece of work, which is the Resource Management Phase 2 reforms, which will be coming before my committee shortly. We'll continue working on the suite of Christchurch-related legislation that is currently before us, and we are working on changes to improve the safety of young children in terms of swimming pool fencing, and that will be coming to the committee and the House later this year. It's going to be a good year for the government. It's been a very good summer, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.